When we enter a school or a university, we step into a complex ecosystem made up of layers, strata, that are actually inseparable from one another. Together, they shape a unique experience, which is that of learning. By observing these ecosystems, we can particularly distinguish three dimensions. The pedagogical one, which brings with it all the value-based, methodological, and organizational aspects. The technological one, both visible and invisible, traditional or advanced. The spatial one, the environment we immerse ourselves in, made up of volumes, colors, symbols, light, scents, furnishings, tools, and objects, and more. Educational policies, finally, represent the broader framework within which pedagogy, space, and technologies take shape and guide their actions. For this reason, our exploration of the development of higher education through hybrid thinking unfolds in a series of 4 MOOCs, massive open online courses that will allow us to delve deeper into the main pillars of smart learning, such as the following. We begin with the pedagogical dimension. In the first MOOC, we will explore smart learning design, a design method that helps teachers exercise maximum creativity and maintain full control over the entire learning experience, both inside and outside the classroom, online and in person, in all the directions and forms that the hybridization process can take on. We will then move on to technology, exploring the systematization of the contribution that the MOOC movement as a synthesis of digital learning processes can offer to the development of smart learning. We will then focus on learning spaces, suitable for indeed supporting smart learning, the smart classrooms. The MOOC series will conclude with the policy dimension through an in-depth look at the contribution that policies on open education can make a significant contribution to the sustainability of high-quality educational innovation processes for everyone. As we mentioned, in this first MOOC, we will focus on the pedagogical dimension and delve into smart learning design. You will see how this is structured into 4 steps. It starts with the deconstruction of the learning process into individual events that make up the entire learning process itself. It then guides the teacher in defining their relative weight, measured in dedicated time, how much time should be allocated to each learning event, and then it suggests the selection of the implementation methods for each event, strategies, tools, everything needed to describe it. And finally, it supports the choice of the implementation context in the classroom, synchronous online, asynchronous online, for each learning event and the connections between them. We will then continue with a course dedicated to the production and design of MOOCs. We consider MOOCs a cornerstone of smart learning because they are extremely useful allies in the implementation of a learning event that is very important and will be addressed in smart learning design, what we have defined from the student's point of view as a collection of low interactivity content. This is the moment when the student acquires information related to concepts, methods, strategies, and processes through non-interactive consumption of a source, for example, listening to a lecture, reading a book, watching a video from a MOOC like you are doing right now. This course will therefore be dedicated to understanding what we mean when we talk about MOOCs, how they are designed and how they are created, exploring their different types as well. For example, we will discover that there are application experiment MOOCs, which demonstrate the application of a model or the development of an experiment, the discussion MOOCs, which present different perspectives on a topic, or the touring around MOOCs, which guide participants through a visit to a museum or an archaeological site, and many others that we will analyze together with you. In the third MOOC, continuing the exploration of our different pillars of smart learning, we find spaces, to which we will dedicate the MOOC on smart classrooms. We fully agree with Francesco Zurlo and Daniele Mauer when they tell us that we must start from the premise that there is no longer a specific, defined and designated space for learning, but that learning takes place in a continuum of spaces that must be navigated without hurting oneself, to quote Georges Perec, each one with its own characteristics, in order to meet an increasingly complex set of needs. Our goal, therefore, is to promote the evolution from classroom to space of learning, where physical and digital presence, traditional and innovative, integrate for the best pursuit of results, learning outcomes. Specifically, we will see how spaces that support learning activities can be structured with flexible and comfortable furnishings to facilitate activities based on different pedagogical approaches and multidisciplinary, integrated with technologies, from the simplest ones to virtual and augmented reality systems that support students in developing activities related to specific content, open to supporting extended classrooms with students participating both in person and online. With the final MOOC in the series dedicated to open education, we finally arrive at the fourth pillar, the educational policies that shape and guide actions across the previous three areas: pedagogy, spaces, and technology. Open education is a set of practices, content, policies, and communities that, when properly enhanced through usage licenses, allow anyone to access open learning materials and pathways, which are free and adaptable. We're not just talking about educational content, but also about teaching strategies, assessment tools, and implementation projects for smart classrooms. Thanks to open education, all the actors involved in educational processes can legally reuse materials and content already created by others, adapting them to the goals of specific contexts, improving their quality, and then putting them back into circulation. From these examples, you can already sense the role that the culture of open education could play in promoting smart learning from a truly systemic and sustainable perspective, especially for public universities. Pedagogy, technology, spaces, and policies. These are the four views from which we will explore the world of hybrid learning or smart learning in this MOOC series.